When I think of All Saints, I think of home. I've had the privilege to live in other countries outside of the United States and have a lot of different experiences. And when I moved back into the United States and back to the St. Louis area, it was to St. Peter's and to All Saints. I now live in St. Louis, but I come every week to All Saints because it is home. And I think the biggest thing about it is our family has been involved in this parish for generations. And so it's not just my own family, but we have created in this community a network of families over generations that have really made it a special place. And a place that I, as a child, went to All Saints School. We're involved in the parish life from a very early age. My parents, Don and Arlene Ziegemeier, really embedded that faith into us as children. I have 3 other siblings, and we all went to All Saints. And to come back is like coming into my house to this church and to the community. I would also say that some of the most special times of my life I've spent in All Saints. When I've, as a young person, sort of trying to understand what I wanted to do with my life, sitting in the pews just looking at the beautiful stained glass and experiencing those moments of calm, being in the grotto, saying the rosary on Tuesday nights for perpetual help devotions, hearing the missionaries talk about different countries and their missions across the seas really kind of inspired me as a young person. Then also as life went forward and having a wonderful tribute to my father when he passed away in 2010, and this having that church full of the community to support us in his passing was such a wonderful kind of memory that I'll always cherish of that church and being held by the community in that really, really hard time. All Saints has shaped my faith experience probably because it was the cradle for me, literally, to come of age in the Catholic faith. And so I attended All Saints grade school and then went on to St. Dominic High School for 4 years. So is it really shaped by all of the wonderful priests and nuns that were there, but also to a great extent most of the lay people that were teaching me. We had a freedom at All Saints really to talk about Jesus and to learn more about what it meant not just to be a Christian in word, but how you practice that faith and how it looks to be Jesus to the world. And so I saw examples of that in my school and in my parish, of people actually responding to what it is we're called to be as a Christian, and that was the bedrock. Also in my own family, to grow up in a very religious household was really fundamental. One of my favorite memories, actually, I would say it wasn't my favorite thing at the time, was to pray the rosary with my family. It would seem like a chore at the time. I wasn't really into it when I was younger. But we had a custom at my house with my mom and dad and my siblings to say the rosary. And some of the memories I have sitting there around the Christmas tree and just saying the rosary and looking at the lights and how that made you feel very safe and protected. And also our neighborhood, just our little street, had a rosary cell. We called it Monday Night Rosary, and we would go to each other's house on Monday night and say the rosary and have some cookies and punch, and just those relationships in the community sense of, I think about that now and how hard it would be for anyone to stop their lives on a Monday with family and small kids to say the rosary as a community. It was beautiful. And so those are memories I just cherish, and the rosary is very dear to me as an adult now. I really feel that the community that All Saints is at this moment is one of welcome no matter what your circumstance. So people have have demonstrated how welcoming they are. Recently, just being back, I've been back 11 years, and though have a home here before that, things a lot has changed in the last 20 years of my life when I was adult and away. And I could really feel that connection and see a lot of new faces at All Saints that I hadn't known before, that had come because of the welcome that we feel here, that we extend. And now that I'm back, I feel like I'm a part of that as well through music ministry and other opportunities to try to bring Jesus to others and in our lives, and actually trying to be our best selves. I do think that this is a welcoming community for LGBTQ individuals and for anyone else and families that feel isolated and marginalized. This is a place where you can worship in a Catholic space, and that to me is really important. As we welcome everybody, no matter what your creed or color is, and that is very important for me in my faith to actually be part of a welcoming space. One of the ministries that I really, really love to talk about is my prison ministry. I participate in Residents Encounter Christ. This is a ministry that many parishioners at All Saints have heard of, because we've had our fellow parishioners have been in this ministry for quite a number of years. Some of them have passed on, Sally Bombach, Condi Kennedy, and his wife, and so I wanted just to lift up that ministry and invite you. Mario Pohlmeyer is in that ministry now, and others are starting to, from All Saints community, be a part of it. It is, what I like to say, it kickstarts my spirituality each time I get to share my faith with men in Bonne Terre or Farmington or Pacific, wherever we're at. We're in prisons all across Missouri, and it's a 3-day program, a retreat program for the inmates and for the outmates, which are us. And we bring in talks and programs and love, and we really get to connect to these men and women who are really forgotten by society and who are really trying to get their lives back on track, and to show Jesus' love. And that space is so amazing. It's like they often say they don't feel like they're in prison any longer during that weekend, and it's an amazing time to think, this is my brother and my sister. I'm not judging you. It's not my place to judge you. It's my place to love you. So that's been a really nutritive thing in my life, and Father Dunn is part of those retreats, and he's had some amazing stories as well, just to see the transformation of our brothers and sisters who are going to be out, hopefully, of the prison system. If they're not, then at least they're having a quality experience and actually have turned around their own lives, so that, living in prison, a lot of us on the outside of prisons live in a prison that we make ourselves, in our minds and our hearts. And they have said after this weekend sometimes that they feel like they're not in prison because their mind and their heart isn't in prison any longer because of Jesus. And that is amazing. Happy birthday, All Saints!